to be like a PT group. Global South in Quebec. Now what do we do here? We get and what about one of the arguments is that higher fees mean better quality.
Nice little crowd we got here. Calm down. We're at the Hart House, U of T. And supporters we need for Blair project. The Witch Blair. Did we get enough people down there? Doesn't look like it. We only got a few people on Facebook showing up. Not enough commitments, so we're waiting, guys. You gonna hear me? Come down. Guys, girls, sorry.
Twice before I go downtown. Twice. People put up a Facebook event. We're all here. The best way to do this is for us to just maybe get in a circle. There's a couple of volunteer facilitators from Occupy Toronto. We're happy to facilitate a short assembly. That's the process that's been used, thankfully, very successfully. So do we want to just gather up? People can talk about what they want to do. People can like throw out ideas for the march. Is that good? Did everyone hear me? Yeah, can we circle up? Let's go. Awesome. Thank you. I'm going to hand it over to the facilitator here. Bottles. What? You want a juice? No. All right, folks, gather up. Thanks. Sorry, brother. As I said that, like one of these. Awesome. And if you need a red square, they're right here. Anyone who wants to sit down, I'm thinking stuck. All right. Does everyone have a basic sense of what an assembly process is? Does anyone have questions? Okay. So we're going to have introductions from the facilitators here. Okay. We're going to have one person quickly tell us about what's happening in Montreal. Then we're going to open up the floor. You raise your hand. I'll take your some sort of signifier down because I don't know you personally. The facilitators will call upon you. You get to speak. You can make proposals. Do you want to do hand signs? We'll do. And they'll do hand signs and explain how that works. Go.
So, hi, my name is Roxy. I'm a volunteer facilitator with Occupy Toronto and the Occupy Free School.
Hi, I'm Trey. I'm a volunteer facilitator with Occupy Toronto, and we're here today to show solidarity with the Montreal strike.
Woo! Woo! So, like was already said, we're going to have a discussion right now about how we're feeling about the strike and where we want to be marching. And just so we can all kind of have complete communication, I'm going to introduce some of the hand signals that we use at Occupy Toronto. They're pretty easy. So the first one, is twinkle fingers up. This is like, I really, really agree. And then there's a gradient, so as you go down, like, I kind of agree, I sort of agree, and then I really, really disagree. Okay? If you have a question, so if someone says something and you need to clarify, you make a little C for a point of clarification. And if you have an answer to that question, you make a little information, a little I, that you can answer. And if you want to speak, just put up your hand, and Hussein will write down your name on the stack.
If you feel that someone's taking too much time and you'd really like to get the process going, there's two ways that you can do this. One, rotate your hands politely. Two, if you feel the conversation has gone way off track, you can use a point of process, which is a peace symbol with your hand. And if you feel that we're really way out of line right now and you just feel you can't keep going in this, you can use a block. Okay, but really reserve this if you're really feeling objectionable about this.
A block is when you're like, if this keeps going, I'm going to walk away. So there's like, not to block or you don't like something, block, right? Like, it's an assembly process. We're doing this democratically.
All right, I'd like to welcome right now Laura from Montreal, who's going to speak to us.
I am.
I like it is.
I don't know how to use these things, so I'll hold it for you, and then you can drink a free fish right here. Something I want to say. Yeah. Hi guys, I'm Laura. I'm from Montreal, obviously. I'm so happy to see all of you guys here, and I know a number of comrades from Quebec sent a message to me this morning saying that you guys are fucking awesome, and I'm gonna swear on all these cameras. Fucking awesome! Right now, I believe we're going to protest especially Bill 78, which is depriving people of freedom of speech and human rights altogether. It represents not just the Quebec movement, but Chile, New York, Mexico, pretty much everywhere right now. Also, the tuition hikes was the initial issue, of course, and it still is extremely important, but this goes way beyond that. And I think you guys all know what I'm talking about. This is about the corporatization of universities and education, which should be a right. We should not have to work our butts off and try to complete our work to get through school, only to graduate incapable of getting a good job. It's not fair at all, because we work so fucking hard. So I don't know if there's more I should be saying. Okay, yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Laura. So, like you were saying, folks really want to speak. They can talk to us on.
Just raise your hand.
But just going off of what Laura was saying, and I think this is very important. The student movement has obviously shaken the Charest government in Quebec, shaken them so much that they had to resort to this bill. What is it? 78. This brutal bill banning demonstrations. It's a disgrace to democratic rights. And what it shows you that the government is trembling in Quebec. And these tactics, these methods in Quebec are forcing the government to begin to buckle. And they're scared. They're scared of the example it sets that we can win against austerity. That's the example it sets. But one thing I'll say is that Charest would do well to learn a lesson from Mubarak. You cannot beat a movement with batons, with mass arrests. You cannot beat it, and the movement is becoming even stronger and larger. And today is an example of that here in Toronto, we're saying that we're here to support the Quebec student movement, that we sympathize with it, and we're inspired. And by inspired, we should talk about another point, that the best support we can give to the Quebec student movement is to break the isolation. Now what they're saying in the media, the corporate press, the pro-business politicians are like, these Quebecers, they're nuts, they're alone, no one supports them. But we got to break the isolation in action. Show them they're not alone. Let's bring the movement to Ontario. Let's bring the movement. These politicians keep talking about the race to the bottom. Look, Quebec tuition fees are the cheapest. They're complainers, they're whiners, they're entitled. No. What we'll say is that $2,500 a year, that's Quebec tuition. That's what we demand across Canada as a first step towards free post-secondary education.
Yeah!
That's been going viral. A lot of people, a lot of students across the country have been signing on to this. And this to open that in, we're signing signatures just over there at that table, is to put pressure on our student leaders, on the Canadian Federation of Students, which is the Anglo Student Union outside of Quebec, the largest student union federation, to begin mobilizing, to educate our fellow students, to popularize this, and to hold a strike ballot in October, in the fall, not in October, in the fall months, and we should begin mobilizing concretely and moving. Let's put the idea of support for Quebec students in action on the streets. Thank you.
People want to speak to you, just want to raise their hand. Suggestions, proposals for what we should do now, anything really. This is an open democratic process.
Let's organize a treasonous uprising.
Anyone? You can just speak from there.
So I always start off with a chant. So.
Solidarity!
So.
Solidarity! So! Solidarity! Solidarity!
Next is Sandy Hudson. I'm the Ontario chairperson for the Canadian Federation of Students, and it's so amazing to see people here today inspired by the students in Quebec. We stand 100% behind these students. It is amazing what they've been able to do, and it is completely awful and reprehensible what the government of Quebec has been doing. It's also reprehensible what the government of Ontario has been doing. This government in Ontario are the one that is making it possible for what's happening in Quebec to happen. And we should not have let it go this far. We can't allow it to continue. And what we need to do is to take this inspiration that everybody feels and turn it into mobilization on the ground. This is something, absolutely something that needs to spread to Ontario, and we need to learn from our Quebec brothers and sisters. What they have done is amazing, nothing short of amazing, but we know that it took a lot of hard work. They were organizing for over a year. We need to do what they did here. They set up faculty councils to take votes. If you folks are students and you know of faculty councils that you want to start a vote on, start those votes. Get in touch with us, we'll help you out, but let's grow this movement from the ground up. And let's make sure that we involve people who are not currently involved in the process. In Quebec, college students are at the forefront of the movement. They're at the fore. College students are the ones who are getting free education in Quebec. Here, it's a little less expensive sometimes. Those are the students who understand why education is inaccessible. Those students and the folks in high school who are never going to be able to get there. We need to engage these students. We know that on those campuses, administrations, the government is more in the pockets of those students. They sit on those councils. They make sure that the political question is never asked. We need to make sure that we get these mobilization committees, we have them happening on our own campuses, and we engage the college students. We are never going to do this if we just do it alone, if we're insular, if we just remain within the universities, or even just the members of the Canadian Federation of Students. We need to get beyond that. We need to make sure that we're organizing beyond that, and we need to make sure that this is a broad-based movement. So I am looking to Quebec, and I'm looking to all of you for inspiration and for engagement. This excites me. This is amazing. When school starts up, it's summer. When school starts up, I hope that every one of you will pledge to do something on campuses, on your own campuses, on your former campuses, on campuses you wish you were able to go to, on campuses that you've never even heard of, to start these mobilization committees and get people out there. Tuition fees in this province are the highest that they are in Canada. They're one of the highest in the world. Shame! Damn shame! I graduated with just under $50,000 of debt, and that is not unreasonable. It's not unheard of. I know people who have over $150,000 in debt, and you know what that means? Those poor folks like me, racialized folks, people with disabilities, and far on down the list, these people are the ones who are going to be paying more for their education simply because they couldn't afford it. This system doesn't make sense. It's set up so that wealthy students, wealthy non-students, wealthy people are the only ones who benefit. And this education system props that up. We need to challenge that. That's what the folks in Quebec are doing. Let's bring that shit here. Let's do it. Let's start doing the work. If you're with me, let's do another chant. So.
Solidarity!
So.
Solidarity!
So.
Solidarity!
Thank you so much for
we've got 2 hands. Okay, we have 2 hands. You got 3 here and then yourself.
We have another one.
Okay, cool. So why don't we go? Alright, and if people could do just 2 minutes short and propose what you should do right now, that would be great.
It restricts the initiative.
I'm a dishwasher.
Hi, my name is Daniel Bastian. I'm at 311. I worked for 4 years, now I work at the hotel. I work with all the food service workers on campus here. And I talk to them every day, and it's one thing that they're, on the whole, in support of their guys' struggle. These workers are the ones who feed the students and feed the community. And they're the ones who are some of the most disrespected people. A lot of them are making $10.75 an hour, which is shameful. Shame. They cannot afford to send their kids to this elite institution. Shame. They took a 99% strike authorization vote and are bargaining with 2,000 other food service workers to raise people out of poverty. We might be facing strikes in September as well. And we're going to give a good push to university on convocation. And if you guys come and support, I think on the 11th, 12th, and 13th at convocation, they'll be there on the picket lines with you guys in September.
So before we continue with the speeches, these have been great points and speeches of solidarity. And what we're looking for now is a dialogue, a conversation between ourselves about what we're going to do right now, today, as a group. Where are we going to go? What messages are we going to show? Okay, so when you come up to speech, try and keep that in mind, that we're trying to move forward with the day.
Right. So, I've got you.
Robin?
Okay, cool. Craig?
Craig?
And maybe we can do a time count.
Hey folks, this will be quick. I think what we should do is march down. We have an intersection right here, which is University and College, which is named after us as students. We should take it over for a bit, and then keep heading down to Quebec's official government office, which is at 20 Queen Street, east, I think, or west. It's just Queen and Yonge area. And we should show them that we're in support of the students and that we want the Shadow regime to fall. All right.
Okay, sorry, so we've got 2 more people in the speakers list, but we have an actual proposal. So do people want to speak 2 or 4, just the proposal, and then we'll make a decision. So we'll take a collective temperature check and then a vote, and then we'll move forward. So do people want to speak on that proposal? Either in agreement or in disagreement. So just raise your hands for that. Ben?
I think that's a really great idea because both places make sense to go to, but I think that we should be specific about how long we want to hold these places before we go there, just so we know what we're doing.
Okay, cool. Anybody else who wants to speak for or against that proposal? No? So, oh, there, over there. Alex?
I would suggest that maybe we might want to consider going past
So, you mean past the Quebec and past the Quebec thing to Ryerson or past Ryerson? You want to suggest a route? Ryerson's first? Okay. Okay, University and College over to Ryerson and then the Quebec head office thingy, the embassy to Ontario. Okay, that's the proposal. Anybody want to speak for or against it? Yeah, go ahead.
I'd like to add that we also hit Sun Media. Sun Media! Quebec been a blackout of the news that's been going on in Quebec about the strike.
Shame!
Shame!
Okay, cool. So, does anybody want to like take this 4-stop traveling tour route into something that we can all like vote on? So which way are we going first, then where, then where?
Are there any blocks?
Oh, well, let's get a full proposal.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess it would be like.
Yeah,
Draw this out.
I can talk.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So any blocks to the proposal if we're generally hitting up Sun Media, and then we're going to Ryerson, then Quebec head office?
What about?
Sun would be last. Okay, those 3 stops. Go ahead.
No, I was wondering about college and.
Past college and university. Okay, those 4 stops and a few people can like meet quickly. I have no goddamn idea.
Sorry, do we have a point of clarification?
Goddamn idea.
There's a point of clarification?
No.
No. Yeah?
Well, I was thinking that if it's possible, we could pass some of the major banks because one of the reasons why the government is shifting the burden on the students is because of all the debts we're paying back.
So everyone can hear. The point is to also like say hello to the banks on the way. We're all good with that? Awesome. Yeah. Cool.
Another point of clarification.
Point
over
of
here.
clarification? Yes. You can't hear?
Yeah.
We don't have a room yet.
Okay, we're going to announce the route for a vote. All right, go. Okay, wait. There's another point of process.
The Sun Media is at King in Parliament. It is much further away than everything else that we've sort of been discussing. Just so we're aware of the actual logistics of what we're doing, people can still feel free to vote at it on that, but I feel like you should know that it's not exactly the neighborhood as everything else.
Okay, there's a bunch of people raising hands. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take blocks on every stop. Right, so if you're like absolutely opposed to it, you put your hands up like this, and we'll get a sense of where things are at. Okay.
College and university.
Can we amend?
Sorry?
Can we amend?
Can we amend?
Well, we'll start moving.
Quick amendments. Go ahead.
Just to say, the Toronto Star and the Globe and Mail have been just as nasty as Sun Media. I'm not striking Quebec student. I'm just here visiting. The coverage has been disgusting for us as well. Maybe if any of their offices are any closer.
Further away.
Okay. Sun Media doesn't claim to be an ally. The Toronto Star claims to be some sort of progressive paper. Perhaps it'd be worth telling them to get their shit together.
That's at 1 Front Street.
Is that further?
Okay. I'm going to do this.
Withdraw.
All right.
So I'm suggesting a route. First we hit college and university. Are there any blocks?
No blocks. Cool.
Next we go to Ryerson. Are there any blocks? Finally
Which way are we going to Ryerson? Are we going down to college or are we going down to university?
We're picking stops first, and then we can pick the route.
and then Quebec office. Are there any blocks?
Where is that? Where is it?
Queen and Young. Okay.
Next would be Sun Media. That's it.
We have a block.
1 block.
Are there more blocks? Two. Okay. Three. Okay.
There's enough blocks, I feel, that not everyone's down with that. So those would be 3 stops.
What about the banks?
Oh, and we'll stop at banks on the way.
Yeah,
And we'll stop at the bank.
and the bank.
Okay.
So I would like to propose that in solidarity against C78, that we do not plot out a specific route as a group here. We have our location set and that we will just kind of follow the crowd.
And that if people want to step in front of the crowd, they can do so. Okay? Cool? Awesome. Do people have any... If someone has anything extremely pressing to say... Oh, sorry. If anyone has something extremely pressing to say, raise your hand, and then we're going to go. Yeah.
I want to thank Occupy Toronto for helping to facilitate and organize this event.
Come towards me. In addition to what Rocky said about the Bill 78, if you have a mask or a bandana, please feel free to wear it. And I'm serious, if you don't want to wear it, this is your right not to and your right to wear it. And that's the point, okay?
Cool. Let's go.
We're going.